Guess I'll just go ahead and get started here. And I think we're 18, almost 20 minutes in, and I'll have to edit a lot of this out. But this is the football history live stream, and today we're going to talk about the simulator, how it works, and then we're going to talk about the football video game that's going to be coming later in the year. And we have some other products that we have for coaches as well. I've developed a injury tracker for the coaches. I've developed a software piece of software for um, doing league scheduling and also doing some not only just league scheduling but tournaments scheduling as well. So we've got a lot of good things that we're going to be doing this year outside of just the football video game. And the simulator, just so you guys know, the simulator is a football simulator that coaches will be able to use. Actually, anybody will be able to use this to design plays. I've had some people say that they'd like to use it for Madden, and because they play Madden a lot and they'd like to learn a little bit more about how football works and how plays are created and everything. And this will give you that kind of knowledge. It's an educational tool that kind of it looks like a video game, and a lot of it is built off that. The video game will be built off that. And what we wanted to do was, originally my whole idea was, if I built a simulation of football and how the mechanics of it works, then that would be a little bit easier for me to make a video game. And so that's why that's how this whole thing was born. Was based on just creating the simulator first, getting all the mechanics of that down, and then creating a video game after that. And what we're doing with that simulator is, you can execute handoffs, you can execute man in motion plays, and you could really kind of diagram your own type of play, even some plays that may not even make sense to some people, but you can diagram all these types of plays, and you can run them against our defenses that are in there, which is their read and react. So we won't right now. We don't have the capability to run routes for the defense. We're actually working on something like that. We had it in play, but it was kind of acting a little crazy. So we took it out. So the defense is strictly AI. You position the players where you need to. We're going to create. We have these what's called zone boxes, where you can put these zone boxes on the field where the players can stay in for a couple seconds, and you can create zone defenses with that. So right now the it's going to be a read and react AI on the defense, but then when you get to the offense, you have a little more control where you're designing routes and route trees and things like that. So we're going to carry this over into the video game as well. We're going to carry all this functionality over to the video game. So what you're going to have is a video game that you can actually create plays on. And instead of, I think Madden had this some years ago, but this is going to take it to another level. So you can actually create a play that, you're not really limited, as to what you can create with your play. And you'll have formations that we're going to have prefab formations in there, but you can create your own formations. So it gives you a whole lot of flexibility to be able to create plays. And then by being able to do that, the game doesn't get stale, or the simulator doesn't get stale, because the defense is always going to be reacting to whatever you create. And it may not be, and we have the AI where, as I mentioned in some of my videos, it doesn't play the same all the time. And what I'm really excited about that for is because the AI is, by it not playing the same all the time, you have um, different things that are going to happen, even if you run the same play over and over and over again against the same defense. Most of the time, though, when you're going to run these offenses against the defenses, um, you're going to run the defenses are going to be a little different. Unless you absolutely pick the same offense or same defense against that offense. But even if you do that, you're still going to get variation in the way it plays. It's not going to always play the same way. It may play the same way a few times, but it will vary because the AI will say, all right, he called that play 5 times, and it's going to learn what you're doing. And then it goes ahead and says, all right, he called it play 5 times. I'm going to play it differently this time. So you don't get these little variations where that same play already works all the time. And the good thing with a strategy game as opposed to a joystick game, and I have nothing against the joystick games because I play those, but I like the strategy based game because you have to really think about what you're doing when you're playing a strategy football game. It's not all based on I run left or right or whatever, and to get the AI to run that way, then I slip back the other way, and then I score a touchdown. And I've seen some videos out there where people are, they you get enjoyment out of playing the game the way you want to play. If that's what turns you on, then you're going to be successful at that. But and that's fine. But if you play the game, even Madden, if you play it the way it's supposed to be played, like if you play it with real life, and some people don't like to punt. I was playing my grandson, and we were playing Madden, and he doesn't like to punt. He just likes to, and so I beat him like 95-35 because he doesn't like to punt. And once I figured out what he was doing from an offensive standpoint, I laid my defenses back in zones and everything like that, and let the AI kind of work against him. And then also I would put decoys, like I would take control of a guy and decoy him and everything like that. And so he'd think that I'm going to be in one place and I'm in another. So what I like about strategy, and the reason why I wanted to make a strategy football game, because I'd seen the Stratomatic games out there and all the other games out there that are being played. And I wanted to have something that was, like that, but it had a better visual. I mean, I see people playing those games and they're like clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. Oh, he gained 2 yards, and then that's the end of it. And I, used to play a lot of these games, board games. Actually, I came from the board game community, and I still play board games every now and then. But I wanted something like the board game feel, but I wanted to have the 3D element to it. I wanted to have the visual, because I'm a visual person, being in graphic design and everything. I am a visual person, and I wanted to see the visual of all of that play out instead of just know that the guy gained 2 yards and you see some text up on the screen or something like that, and it says, all right, number 35 Johnson gained 3 yards. And I mean, that's fine, but I wanted to actually get the feel and see what was going on, which is why this game came into creation. So it's going to be a little different than, let's say, a Madden game or anything like that. But I also wanted to have those graphics because I wanted to have something like, for instance, we have the baseball field configurations. And one thing we're going to do is with the video game, what we want to do is, and I've already created this, but I don't know if we're going to implement it in time. So we've got a timeline on that. But I've created where you can create your own stadiums. So I have assets and everything that are set there in our library that we can actually put a stadium together. So we're going to want to give the user the ability to actually create their own stadium with the grandstands and everything around it and so on, and the baseball configuration type fields and everything. I think you guys have seen one of our baseball configuration fields, but that's the kind of functionality that we want to give to our users. And we want the experience. I want you guys to actually have an experience playing the game where it's not all about, you're using 1,000 animations and everything. We want things to be fun. And even if it's a statistical based game, I want it to be fun. I don't want it to just be, based on stats, because when you think about it, statistics are only a small part of the game. I mean, games are not really played on paper. So what about players performing in the clutch that, normally they may, I mean, everybody gets hung up on these ratings, like a guy's a 99 and, he's a 55 or whatever. He doesn't mean any good. But actually, the fact is, those ratings don't really matter. They really don't matter. And okay, Mike says he'll be right back. Okay, but the ratings don't really matter as much as the actual experience in playing the game. And when you have a strategy-based game, you have to think about the plays that you're going to call and how you're going to use your players and everything. Not just that this guy is rated a 90 and he's always going to perform that way. I really always cringe when people talk about um, this guy is rated a 90 and he should perform like this. Those ratings don't mean anything really because you don't play the game based on ratings. You play the game, based on situations. Situations and coaching is what wins football games. The players do that matter as well, and their skills do matter. But at the end of the day, you could have a ton of players with a ton of skills. You could have an all-star team and lose to a team with lesser talent because you don't know how to coach. And that's what this game is going to be about. And it kind of parlays off of what the simulator is, because the simulator is for coaches, and it's for coaches to be able to, you know, um, call plays. We have some tools in there that we're going to have for the coaches and everything like that. Hey, Willie, how you doing? Uh, how you doing there, Willie? Glad you could make it. Yep, glad you could make it, man. We're just hanging out. Just so far, you know, I've been talking a little bit about the game. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while, and it's been a lot of work that I've had into this. I've dedicated a lot of time, money, and resources into this project, and I'm glad to see that it's coming to fruition. And so I want to let you guys know about the release date. So the release date is going to be for the simulator is going to be in June, on the 19th of June, and then the game is going to follow in the fall of 2022. We've got some tweaks that we want to do to that. I want to make this a good experience, and the main reason that it's taken so long is because one of the things that I wanted to put in here, which I did, was a customization, and I wanted the customization to be easy, not so people don't have to know Photoshop and Corel Draw or anything like that. I mean, I know those programs, but I wanted the average person to be able to pick it up and then throw a logo in there, put a uniform together, and create a team. And so what we have now is, and I was just playing with this today. You can actually create a team right now with the simulator. You can create two teams to face off each other, or you can create it as one team. And the stadium saves with it, and the uniform save with it. So when we come to the game, right now for the simulator, we have home and away uniforms. For the game, you'll have home, away, and an alternate uniform. So you'll have three different uniforms that you create. We put a lot of striping combinations in there, and a lot of things that you can put logos on the chest. You can put them on the shoulders, the helmet right on the top of the helmet there, and then of course on the sides, one side or two sides. I've pretty much designed this customization so people can actually um, get in there and really have some fun with this. And so you could actually use this as, if you like to just create football uniforms and you don't even want to play the game or play the simulator or anything like that. You could just use this to create different types of football uniforms and see how they look, for your football community, your high school team, your youth team, and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted. I wanted this to be that easy to pick up and play. And that's what we're going to do with the strategy game, the football game, the football history strategy game, the video game coming in the fall. We're going to have it where it's going to be easy to pick up and play. So people that aren't really good with, joysticks and stuff like that, they're going to get a lot of fun out of playing this type of game because you're going to have the graphics there, and you're also going to have the ability to be able to customize and do that. So if, Willie, do you have any questions while you're in here? Anybody have any questions? Just put them in the chat and we'll talk about it. I know that there was some questions on certain things, but another thing I wanted to say about this is that this is really going to be the only football game of its kind. And I've searched a lot through Steam. I've searched a lot through the internet, and I haven't seen anything really like this. So it's really a one of a kind thing, I believe. And then with all the enhancements that we're going to put in here, we're going to start small. We're not going to boil the ocean. We're going to start small, and then we're going to incrementally add some of these things. As Willie says, is the game going to be on PC only? Yes, yes. It's going to be on PC only right now, and the reason for that is because there's just so many hoops that I've found. I know originally I said I wanted to bring this to consoles and everything, the PlayStation and Xbox, but as you can see, what happened to Maximum Football, there's just a lot of things you got to do to go to consoles, and it's easier for me to stand this up on the PC, and it's a more flexible environment, and then see how everything goes there. And if a publisher wants to pick it up and make it go to console, then they can put the resources and money behind that to do that. But for now, yes, this is going to be on PC, and it's going to be on the PC that you want to have as a dedicated sound card, or not a dedicated graphics card, I should say, on there. I'm using a Asus ROG computer right now, and it's running perfectly on that. And you can actually, what a lot of people don't know too is that all games are made on PC anyway, and you can take a PC and hook it up to a TV or a monitor and via HDMI and everything, and get the same experience that you're getting with a console. So you'll be able to, I think we'll have it where you can use a joypad with it to kind of navigate around the menu and everything like that. But it's not a game where you'll be able to control the player. And I know I've been asked about that. I think with some of the video games out there, I think the user has too much control. And therefore, that's why the experience is always a little bit, up and down. They want to see this, they want to see that. And some people say, well, I want to see what I see on Sundays. Well, if you want to see what you see on Sundays, you need to strap on the pads and join an NFL team, because these are video games and they're for fantasy and they're for fun. And we all want to emulate, what's going on the field, but to a degree, with these games, until the tech really gets there, you're not going to be able to emulate everything. I mean, Madden comes really close to doing that, and a lot of people think that it's not a good game and this and that and the other, but I've had fun playing it. It depends on how you play the games. If you play the game with a like-minded person that does play defense and does punt and stuff like that in certain situations, then it becomes a better experience. Your experience is really driven by how you play the game. So if you play Madden in a way where you just want to cheat all the time, then that's what you're going to get. And so, this is not going to be any different than that. This is going to be a situation where, you're going to be able to coach a team, like say a Mike Tomlin, and I'm not a Steelers fan, but I am a Mike Tomlin fan because he has, in some instances, not a whole lot of talent, but he wins. And that's exactly the kind of feel I want to create with football history. I want to be able to have people where you'll be able to, you may not have all the talent there on the team, but you'll be able to win because you can outsmart the other guy. And that's what football is. It's like a chess match, and that's the way I'm making this. How many teams in the league? Well, you can have as many teams as you want. Willie's asking, how many teams are in the league. You can have as many as you want. The game will ship with about probably about 12, but you can create as many as you want. I mean, you can have a 32 team league, a 9 team league, a 10 team league, whatever you want. But you store all these. That's another good thing about the PC. You can store all these on your hard drive, so you can bring up. You can just keep creating teams. I created like 30 of them today, and you can create teams, and then you can make those teams. You can assemble them into a league. So it's not like what you're probably used to. The game comes with 20 teams and 50 college teams and all this other stuff. You can make as many teams as you want. And I think what's going to happen is, because it's so easy to make teams, the community is going to be making a lot of those teams, and then they'll have them available out there for people to download, because these are just a JSON file that's saved in the on your hard drive, and you can import it easily and export it easily in and out of the game. And I've already been doing a lot of that. So once you create a team, the team, like, again, I want to say this again, team creates you have the stadium that comes with, it's a package. The stadium and all 3 uniforms will be created with that team. Here's another question here. Uh, how will the play testing work for the coaches in the simulator? I guess that's how will the play testing work for the coaching simulator? Is it selecting specific offenses versus defense play and push to go? No. So the way the simulator works is, you can take a play, and you create a play or plays, and you can run these against other plays. So the simulator does not select plays for you. You create the plays. We're going to have prefab plays that are going to come with the simulator, so you can just modify them if you want, or just create them from scratch. So you're going to have a play, for instance, as you can see in some of my videos. You'll have the play that formation that you create, and from the formation you create a play, and then you can run that play against any play. Like, we'll have some already in the repository, but you can create a corresponding defensive play with that, against that offensive play, and run them together. You can do that. So there's no limit, like, to say that this play is going to go against this play, and so on. I hope I answered your question on that. I think that was from Phenomenal View. We don't want to make this where everything is just like cookie cutter. So there's a lot of variation there. I want to make sure I answer you guys' questions, because please ask me whatever you want to ask me about this, because this is a unique tool for coaches, but it's also going to be a unique video game because of all the flexibility. Now, having said that, some people will play this game unrealistically. They will play the simulator. They'll use that unrealistically in some instances, and that's fine. And I talked to my development crew about this, and I was more or less saying, oh, why don't we have limitations here and prevent people from doing that? And they were telling me, why? Why you might come up and find somebody might create something that's never been created before. And I said, you're right. That's a good idea. Let people have at it and do whatever they want to do. And I asked about the rules of the game too in one of my videos. And one of them was, how would you guys feel about creating your own rules? You got a set of rules, like back in the day, because this is football history. And back in the day, you could horse collar a guy. So if you played a game, and you wanted to make it a 1930s league or whatever you wanted to make it, then you can fix your rules to fit that time period. And the way I put this together was, originally I was trying to figure out how are we going to do the uniforms and everything like that for the 1930s and all this other stuff. I don't want to have all these different models and everything. I had like a ton of different models. So I said, all right, we can go with one model, one uniform type, and still create that same feeling of the 1930s, 1920s, and that. And so with our helmets and everything, we can put on vintage leather helmets. We can put on regular shell helmets with no face mask and everything, or with face mask, and some of the old face masks are in there. But I wanted to give the variation of getting back to creating plays where you create those plays and they're not just cookie cutter and they're going to work all the time. Because I've tested this thing, I've been testing it for years now, and lately, almost daily. And so the plays are designed well. When you design a play, there's no guarantee that it's always going to work if you do it against this same like 3-4 spread defense or whatever the case may be. Doesn't mean it's always going to work. And that's what I like about what we're doing, is because there is a variation of unpredictability there. And then when you throw that into a video game, now you have a different experience. And the coaching, from a coaching aspect, now coaches will be able to see their plays against various defenses, and the defensive coach can actually put down, even though we don't have routes for the defense, it's all AI driven right now, and that's going to change in the future as we do more iterations of this. But you can still design a defense and then be able to stop an offense because of the way you've designed where the players are going to be. The players will actually, when they go into 3D mode, they're going to what'll happen with that is they will read wherever the ball is going, and they will try to react to that. On the other side of that, the offensive player, let's say you have a ball carrier that is running a trap play or something like that, he may be designed to go off tackle, and he may try to do that. But if he sees that that is covered and there's a defender there, he's going to try to find another pathway to get some yardage. And that's not a thing that you can control. That's going to be based on the player's instinct, which is, those are things that we're going to build in. We've already built some of that already into the defensive players and offensive players. What I did is I created these flowcharts that had all these different scenarios in them, and then these players will react based on the scenario that they're faced with. And so some will react better. When it comes to the game, what'll happen is some of these players will react better based on the characteristics that they give them. And I'm trying to stay a lot away from giving, we may have some number ratings in there, but as I mentioned before, number ratings is only part of the picture. So when people sit up and play these video games off of, well, he's a 95, he's a 98 or 99 or whatever, that doesn't really mean anything, because if that player is playing in real life and he's playing a whole game, okay, he's not going to be a 99 the whole game, because he's going to have wear and tear. He's going to might have some nicks and bruises and injuries and everything that's going to affect the way he runs. So he's not going to be a 99 speed by the end of that game. And his stamina, a lot of those things are affected. And so when people play a lot of the Madden games and games like it, they get hung up into, oh, he's a 99, so therefore if I have all 99s, I'm going to win the game. And that's not necessarily true. In real life, you can have an all-star team and lose, to a lesser team, because you don't know how to coach. So this is going to challenge your coaching skills. It's going to challenge the way you think about football in general. And that's why I'm making a game like this, because there's nothing out there like this. I'm focusing more on, when we talk about the gameplay, I'm focusing more on how the game is played, how you maneuver yourself to a victory, not how many good players you have to run in crazy directions and score. Okay. So we also have one of the good things about the football simulator is the coaches will be able to go out to the Java Prince website when we get that up and running, and that's going to be in July. We'll have a website put together. We're redoing the Java Prince website, and you'll be able to go out there, and coaches will be able to download a lot of these solutions that we have. like the player injury tracker, the tournament creators, spreadsheets and stuff like that, call sheet creators and stuff like that. They'll be able to go down and download these tools for minimal charge. And they'll be able to use these tools, especially for youth coaches. This is going to be really good for youth coaches because um, their budgets aren't all that big and everything like that. We are also demoing the simulator. We've demoed it here in Dallas. We've demoed the simulator in Louisiana at Grambling University, and we do have a license, you know, although I don't know if I'm going to use it for the video game because we're going to have so many different variations in there. People are going to be creating all kinds of teams. See, Willie asked a question, will we see actual gameplay in June? Gameplay regarding what? Because we've shown gameplay already. Are you talking about gameplay for the video game, or what actually are you talking about? I personally want to play a real football game. Okay, so Willie says he wants to play a real football game, and what do you mean? What does a real football game mean to you? And I'd like to ask that question for a lot of people. So the question here, Willie was asking, he wants to play a real football game. So I don't know if this is going to be a real football game. I mean, it's as real as I can make it. Um, I try to focus on the reality of football, and that's why I've constructed it the way I have. But I don't know if people are going to. Some people are not going to play it realistically. Real to me means that I'm a like-minded person that likes to play the game realistically. Therefore, you play defense and you punt when you know need to punt. So that's what real means to me. And then let's see. Jimbo says, will there be pads and helmets, and can we go outside? Will there be pads and helmets? Oh, I guess that was a joke. Yeah, of course there's going to be pads and helmets. One of the features that we want to make in the game, and we've already been experimenting with this, is that the helmets on certain times, not all the time, the helmets will come off the player if he's hit hard. You know, we've already got that in there, so we're just kind of, you know, testing it still, and I'm hoping that we'll have that ready for the release. I'd rather under promise and over deliver than to over promise and under deliver. And you know, I've had experiences out here with that. So I will just say this: the game is going to be. I think for. I don't know. I mean, I guess you guys would have to give me some feedback with what you've seen so far, because I've put numerous videos out there showing what it looks like. I know that's the simulator, but the game is pretty much like that. And you know, I'd like to get some feedback as to, you know, if if you want to see something more or you want to see something less, or you know, what is it that you guys want to see from a football gaming perspective? I mean, I'd like to have some dialogue around that, because I think everybody has their own view of what a football video game should be. And so I'd like to elicit some feedback from you guys about that. And before we go get off of here in the next, I think we got about 20 minutes left. That we'll keep this open. Um, but this is for you guys to ask any questions that you might want to have about this game and also the simulator. You know, we have been working very hard on this thing for the past several years, and it's taken a lot of hard work to get it. If you really look at the video game landscape, football video game landscape. There's a lot of people trying to do this and trying to get it to where it is, and I've been privy to see a lot of people doing this very thing, and make a lot of promises in the game. You don't see anything from them. After that, you see a bunch of screenshots and models and everything like that, but you never see an actual game. And I think from the outset, we've always showed something that actually runs. Now, it may not have run the way it should, but we showed something working. Now we have 11 on 11. We have an arena game that's 8 on 8. We also have the Canadian game that's 12 on 12. So we've got all three of those styles working. I got another question here. It says, Jimbo again, I'll subscribe and look at your other videos to know more. Yeah, I would definitely. You guys need to really, if you're on here, subscribe, because I've got a lot of videos out there that shows what this is all about, and I've explained to a lot of people, and some people keep asking me that question over and over again. We are not a Madden. We are not that. We are not a control the player type of game. We are a management and a strategic type of game, but you will get a lot of those experiences. You just won't be able to control the player and make him run back and forth or up and down or whatever, to get where you want to go. So it's more or less, the better a coach you are, the more you know about football, the better you will be at this game. And so that's pretty much it. And again, release date of the simulator is June 19th. And the game will follow in the fall of 2022. I don't have a definite date on that right now, so I don't want to commit to a date, but we will have that date as soon as we get some things in there. We're not going to have a franchise mode in there right now. It will be season mode, and you'll be able to save seasons and sim through seasons and stuff like that. But those things to me are things that are going to come down the road. There's many iterations that we can make to this, but I want to get it on the market. I've been working on this thing for 7 years now. It's been 7 years that I've been working on this project. And again, just to wrap up, I started this on a piece of paper. It was just, a plan. And I've had to do a lot of the development in here, a lot of the music, a lot of the sound effects, the animations. I've had to do a lot of different things. So Willie has let's see what he says here. Are you still able to put the 3-4? Yeah, on the tights, Willie, you're gonna have to send me an example. Send me a picture of that. I can do anything, but I need to understand what you are actually looking for, because I thought the video I made showed that, but I think you wanted something different. So I think you need to send me a photograph of that. If you can do that for me, just on YouTube, I can, we can communicate on YouTube, and we can exchange information, and you can send me a photograph or even put it in the chat or something like that. That would be great, because then that'll give me a reference point, because what I thought you meant wasn't what you meant. So we can do anything. That's not a big deal. As you can see, a lot of the customization that we have there, there's not a lot of video games other than Madden, that has that type of customization. But for an indie developer, I don't even see anything like that out there. And I'm talking about some of the ones that you know about. And some people think that those are really deep in customizations, but wait till you see, what we actually have. I think that's deep, where you can actually create different stripe patterns and everything like that. And we've got more stripe patterns to come. And before you know it, you'll be able to, when people talk about having a license, you won't even need a license. The license is just saying that I'm paying, the NFL or NCAA or whoever to use their brand. And that's where all the money comes in, you know. And I'm like, well, if I give people the ability to have an open source and open world game that they can create whatever they want, do we really need a license at that point? So that's the question that, you know, you have to ask yourself at the end of the day. I want to make a good game, number one, and I want to make it customizable to the point where you guys can create. If you want to create your own high school team, you can do that. You know, I've created my high school team, college team. I mean, you can. I want to give you the flexibility to be able to have your own football experience, whether that is playing a vintage game, playing a modern game with modern uniforms. You know, I want you to be able to do that, and that's the overall goal of what we're doing. So the that's kind of the spirit of what we're doing. We will be announcing the price of the simulator. Again, the simulator is different than the game. We will be announcing that price within the next couple of weeks, and so coaches will be able to buy it. I imagine some people that aren't a coach might buy it as well. So it's going to be up on Steam. We already have everything set up there. All we have to do is upload the simulator up there. The game will be released on Steam as well, and we'll be uploading that as well when that's ready to go. So I wanted to, before I go, I wanted to see if there's any other questions that anybody has that they want to talk about, or just talk about football in general. I'll leave this open for another 10 minutes to field any questions that you guys might have, and then we will, you know, shut it down. And I appreciate those of you who came out. I really appreciate that, and you know, look forward to seeing you when this thing launches. And we'll have a launch party on this as well, a live stream where we'll do the launch and for the simulator and also for the game. So if you guys have any other questions, please put them in there. I wanted to say that I appreciate everybody that's followed me and that's been a subscriber. I hope you do, because this is I know, you know, there's a lot of people out there trying to do this, and and also I'm one of the people out here that would like to help some devs as well, because I'm not a selfish person like some people are. So I'd like to help some devs, make a football game if they want to do that too. It says Willie says for the video game. Okay, I haven't seen that in any football game. Okay, is Willie, are you asking a question about the 3/4 length tights in a game? Is that what your question is? Because we can, again, uh, a lot of the things that we do, everything that we've done so far with this simulator and the game, we build our own assets. We customize the model. We've had several iterations that you guys have probably seen through my channel. We've had several iterations of models. This one we settled on, and we're also, just so you guys know, because I know some people are going to ask the question, the model has morph targets on it. We're not using them for the simulator. And just to explain what the morph targets or blend shapes are, they call them. That means you can make the model fat, you can make them skinny, and so on and so forth. We have them at a neutral state right now um, for the simulator, and we're going to keep it that way just for the simulator, because the simulator is basically all about football and the strategy of it, and the coaches really don't care about the lineman being a certain size and so on. But so we made them a neutral size, all the players a neutral size on that. But when you get to the game, you'll be able to customize the player and his attributes as well, and his size. I think I showed a video a little while back about how that works because we had it working in one of the other videos, but we have a new higher resolution model now. So we put the blend shapes on them, and we're trying to, make sure and do some testing and make sure that that works because I want things to be easy for you guys when you do it. So you can increase the guy's belly size, his legs, his rear, his arms, and all of that other stuff. And I don't want it to look, cartoony and stuff like that. So the model does have blend shapes on it. Let's see, Willie says that gives you a better feel than Madden. Okay. Let me just ask this real quickly because I'm trying to figure out where you're going. Um, and just I just want to say this too in closing is that um, we're not trying to be Madden. You know, I think I said this in another video as well. And we're going to be different, but Madden is 30 plus years old. They've got 30 plus years of development in there, and everybody that's trying to reach that holy grail is it's going to be a stiff um, or a hard way to go, I should say, because it in reality to ask indie a lot of us indie developers are 2, 3, 4 man teams, stuff like that. And to try to create something like a Madden, you're going to need really high, easy tech that you're going to be able to use to get you past some of the rough spots like animations and AI and stuff like that. And that right now just doesn't exist. And so to ask these indie developers to kind of I compete with Madden, I don't want to create one reason why I stuck with my strategy thing is because that's what I always wanted for one. But the other thing is I didn't want to make a poor man's Madden because what's the point of that? Making a game that's similar to Madden, but it doesn't meet those objectives and it falls short. I wanted something that was more or less on a strategic point and it competes with the market that we're in is in that strategy based text based market if you will, but it's better than that. It's got the visual with it as well, so it's not just text on a screen, the guy gained 5 yards, that's it. I wanted the visual, I wanted that the whole visual of that strategy experience, and that's why we have that in there. That's where I'm going with what I'm building with football history. And then I wanted the historical element because I think that was just something that's missing from a lot of games is, what about the leather helmets? What about playing in 1920? And we have an 1800 mod that we're working on as well. That's going to be implemented at a later date as well. So I studied football. I've been studying it for years. I mean years. So I want to put a lot of those elements that other people aren't doing in their games. And I'm not going to say everything, that we're doing, but you'll see some of that. You'll see some things that we're going to do that nobody else has even thought of because they're just trying to compete with Madden or they're just trying to make a sale, and sell a football game or whatever the case may be. I want to sell a football experience. That's what I want to sell, not just a football game. I want to sell an experience. I want you to play this and then have fun playing it. I want you to have fun playing the game and then enjoy it. It's not all about just the stats or anything like that. It's about how you feel walking away from it and having fun with it. So um, so, Willie, I hope I answered your question or tried to get some context around what you were saying there. So if anything, just comment, on my channel, and then I'll get back with you with the answer. But yeah, show me a picture, if you will, of those 3/4 length tights that you want, because I think we got something like that. I just have to pull it out of our asset bin and put it in there, or we can just modify it. But just let me know. That's all. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to sign off. I appreciate all of you for coming out, and look out for our again our simulator will release on June 19th, and then that's going to go out. It's going to release on Steam, and we're also going to have our website. But our website is not coming until July. You'll be able to pick it up on the website as well, on the Java Prince website. When we get that up and going, you'll be able to pick it up from there and then download. Also have the capability to download a lot of other coaching tools that we have out there. And I have a book that I wrote on Amazon too, that I'm gonna put out there for coaches as well. So all that will be on the Java Prince website. So we'll have some tools out there for coaches, and we'll have the simulator out there. But we also will have the simulator will first debut on Steam. And all you guys out there, if you know a coach or something like that, please support us, because the more you support us, the more we can put out some and deliver some, not only a great video game for you, but we will deliver a great simulator for the coaches and all the tools that go along with it. We have a suite of tools that we're working on that we want to deliver that for the coaches as well. So unless you guys have any other questions, I think we're at our end here. And we got one more here. So Willie says, I don't know how, but the tights ending above the knee. Okay. Are you talking about the pants? Not the tights. You're talking about the pants, right? Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay. So the pants right now, if you look at them, if you look at one of, and I'll show you this in a video. Right now, the pants come above the knee right now. The only thing is there's pads underneath them, but they right now they come above the knee. If you look at one of our customizing videos, and I'll do a little video on this, but with the pants, they already come above the knee as it is right now, and you can take the leggings off of the player right now. If you took the leggings off, you would see you'll see the bare skin, and you'll see that the leggings or the pants are above the knee right now. The only thing is they have tights. I mean, they have they have pads on them. So all we would have to really basically do is make a version without the pads. That's basically what we would do. But right now they come just above the knee already as it is. And I'll show you that if you look at one of our videos. I think I have close up of that. Um, it's there, and I'll put I'll put another video together, real quick, and show you that exists. So we already have, if that's what you're looking for, that's already there. We just have to take the pads away to get what you're looking for. And that's just as simple of removing the textures, basically making a pair of pants that don't have any pads underneath. I think that sounds like what is that close to what what you're talking about there? Because we already have, I think we already have what you're looking for. I think we just need to remove the pads, because the pants are already coming above the knee, and I think they're 3/4 above the knee too. They're not super high up, like at the mid thigh or something like that, but they are 3/4, I believe, above the knee already. So I'll take a look at that again, and but take a look at my video on customization, and you'll see that that already exists. It just has the pads on. So all we have to do is, again, just make a version, just remove the textures, and then without the pads, and then you got it right there. So please look at that and let me know if that is what you're looking for. I believe uh, I think I've got it, you know, what you're looking for right there. But I think we've already done it. We just have to remove pads. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm glad that you guys came by. I'm glad you stopped by and everything. And really, just get out there and support us because this is going to be one of the greatest. I think one of the greatest football games made once we get it together and done. And I'm doing testing on it. We're going to have a few beta testers. So if you want to be a beta tester, you know, send me a DM on Twitter, or put it in the on the chat on one of my put it in the comments on one of my YouTube videos on the latest one. And we're going to line up about 3 or 4 beta testers. See, it was talking a few minutes ago. Look at my comment before this one. Okay. All right, Willie, I'm going to check your comment out. Yeah, okay. I got you. All right, Willie, what I'll do is I'll make a video for that, and I'm going to, and then when you see it, let me know. Let's see, we got another guy in here, Darren Turner. Hello, Darren. How you doing? Welcome to the chat. We are finishing up right now. Did you have a question about football history, the simulator, or the game? And if you do, please put it in the chat, and we're going to shut things down here pretty soon. But Willie, I will make a video for you. I got your comment. Yeah, I got your comment, and I hear you. I see you, and we'll get it done. What you're talking about to do is not difficult at all. And I think we, like I said, I think we already have it. So, okay, I see there's no more questions. So with that said, guys, I am going to get out of here. I hope you guys have a great Saturday night and everything. I hope you're watching watch some USFL football. I'm a fan of that league, and I'm a fan of the XFL, all the alternative leagues as well. And I will see you guys soon. And like and subscribe with us, and come out and to the channel. And we're also on Discord as well. So football history, just look us up on Discord. We're out there as well. Hope to see you guys soon. Big Mike. All right. See, Big Mike, hit me up on either Twitter or on Discord again. And I know you have your server out there, and I will hook you up with some sound pack to get you started on building your football game. And then we will have for developers. One other thing I wanted to note: we're going to have a sound pack available out on Discord. Big Mike's channel there, his server. We're going to have a sound pack available for those of you who want to create a football video game, and we'll also have sound effects pack for those of you who are creating just regular shooter games, or games in general. Okay, you DM'd me, Mike. Okay, good. We're good. All right, I'll get you square, dude. We'll get you square. Yeah. So if you guys ever need any music made or anything like that, that's what I do. I'm a musician. I've recorded some music and everything. You can find some of my music out on Apple Music. Just put in Cal Anderson, and you'll see my album out there. I'm on Spotify, Xbox, all of that. So um, I hope you guys have a great day. It was nice hanging out with you. We're going to do this again before the launch, and we're also going to do a launch uh, of the simulator, and then obviously a launch of the game as well too. So I thank all of you for coming out. Love to talk to you guys. Please comment. Don't be afraid to comment on the videos and everything. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys. It was a pleasure. Thank you for giving me the privilege of your time.